Hello, I'm Meg Salyer, and I want to welcome everyone to the Ward 6 Council Show today. With me, I have Rhonda Hooper, who is CEO of Jordan Advertising, and in her spare time, of which I know she has none, she serves as the Vice Chairman of the Convention and Visitors Bureau. And joining Rhonda is my friend David Egan. David and I have known each other for a long time. David is with Cattlemen Steakhouse, one of my all-time favorite breakfast, lunch, and dinner places.
Very good.
It's just wonderful down in the stockyards. And so we're going to talk today about some really exciting ideas that have been percolating up. You know, MAPS 3 is well underway. We've got lots of committees. We've got over 100 volunteers working on subcommittees to kind of put the planning together. And one of the things that's begun to kind of come to the surface is the possibility of an equestrian type facility and as a venue somewhere down in the stockyards. So I thought it might be fun if you two would share with us a little bit about some of the conversations that are going on and what we might dream of. We know it's in the future, but what we might see.
Well, if you don't mind, David, I'll start us off and then we go from there. This is about equine tourism. And the concept of equine tourism is multifaceted between competitions and guest ranches and horse treks and trail rides and so on. It's all about the experience. And, in terms of competitions, Oklahoma City is known as the horse show capital of the world. And we host over 20 horse shows a year with four-legged and two-legged athletes coming from all across North America as well as worldwide, and various disciplines of American quarter horses and paints and Appaloosa, Morgans, American saddlebreds, thoroughbreds, and more. And then various disciplines, including the reiners, which are actually headquartered here in Oklahoma City. And so when they come for these horse shows, the exhibitor themselves and then all the trainers and all the other people, the family members, they average 7 to 10 days here. They stay in our hotels, they eat in our restaurants, and they shop and they seek out entertainment. So the bottom line with all those horse shows, that's contributing over $175 million in direct economic impact to the city. And so all of this is happening. We had this idea, all right, we're at the intersection of I-35 and I-40, as well as the fact that we're located on the ever-popular national and internationally acclaimed Route 66. And so as people are passing through our city, and we are dynamically evolving in terms of our city as well as our tourism product offering. So if we can get people to stop, take us in, and then they're always seeking a Western heritage experience. And so we have the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum, we have the Oklahoma City Stockyards, and in the future we'll have the American Indian Cultural Center. And so all of this is happening, but a lot of people come and they go, well, where can I ride a horse nearby?
Well, Rhonda, it's interesting you say that because I think a lot of folks don't know Oklahoma City still has an operating, everyday running stockyard, don't they?
Sure, absolutely.
And so a large part of your crowd is after work, probably at 7 o'clock in the morning. Is that correct, Dave?
That's true. There's a lot of activity. It's still the largest feeder cattle stockyards in the world.
Wow.
More cattle go through there than any other stockyards. So it's very alive and well. It's not a has-been place like a lot of other markets are.
Yeah.
So there's still a huge amount of people seek out the stockyards area to come and get some sort of a Western flavor when they're from out of town.
So as a comparison, Fort Worth isn't operating any longer.
No, they've been out for years.
They capitalize on that, but it's not an operating facility the way yours is.
So we're hoping that somewhere in that general area down there that we can capture all the people that are coming in town for some sort of horse event or some other event that brings them to town, but they want that Western experience. We want them to be able to come down the stockyards area, have something to do, shop, eat, and what better compliment than horses and a place to ride horses and see horses and maybe see some horsing events and some entertainment and a lot of other ideas.
Yeah.
One of my favorite, just as an aside, one of my favorite downtown stories is I was walking over toward the Marriott Gardens, and there's a very tall young man, Asian, turned out Chinese, and he had an Oklahoma City tourist guide completely written in Chinese, and he was trying to find the stockyards.
Really?
Wow.
And somehow, lucky for me, I had Aaron's phone number, who's the director of the Main Street program for the stockyards. I had Aaron in my cell phone, and I was able to call her, and we got the bus information. And this young man had stopped in Oklahoma City on a trip across country so that he could go down and see the stockyards. So
Cool.
you're right on track with
That's
what you're
cool.
thinking about. So tell us a little bit how this fleshes out.
Well, bottom line, the closest they can go is Draper Lake or Lake Thunderbird in Norman, as far as being able to ride a horse. So this all kind of started in a chamber retreat a couple of years ago, where we said, okay, what could we do? What could Oklahoma City do that would be something for Oklahoma City families and visitors? And it would set us apart from the standpoint of being unique, and it would tie our Western heritage culture with our future and provide for some very lasting memories and things for families to bond together and so on. And so we had this idea of the equestrian trails, building it along the Oklahoma River. And so this is still an idea, right? But bottom line, it would revolve all around the stockyards, and then trails to the west would be more natural and rugged. And then people that are riding trails to the east would experience some more, they'd have the picturesque views of the skyline, the boathouses, the river cruisers, and future attractions. And so it's all kind of, and so what better thing to complement all the happenings at the stockyards than to have an opportunity. And so we've been brainstorming these what ifs. And the what ifs is we have a livery stable. And that livery stable would allow people to come and rent a horse. It would allow them to maybe chuck wagon. You might want to talk about chuck wagon a little bit, David. I didn't.
Well, you can't hardly have a true Western experience without having a chuck wagon dinner, and that's cooking over an open fire and having classic things like cornbread cooked in cast iron and big pot of beans and juicy steaks with flames flying up all over the place.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
So, but anyway, there's ways of doing small groups and also huge groups of hundreds of people. If there's a convention or something that comes in town, and they want to come down there, and if we have, say, a pavilion of some sort, and there's an event where people can come and see a horse, a small rodeo or a riding event or something.
Or a Wild West show or
Absolutely.
exhibition or how to shoe a horse. I mean, there's all sorts of
I've
training
just connected our
opportunities.
Annie Oakley Society at the National Cowboy and Western
Absolutely.
Heritage Museum. We got partnerships. All
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Well, the Oklahoma music capital really is the Opry and the Stockyards. I mean, it's ground zero for a lot of up-and-coming stars. And so it's just a natural fit that there would be some good, high-quality Western entertainment down there as well.
Fantastic. You know, as a New Yorker who from time to time has ridden a horse in Central Park, I just, see this as an incredibly logical connection to all of the other exciting things that are going on.
Oh, you're so right. And what's also exciting is whether you came to rent a horse or people who own their own horses, we would provide, and this is part of the vision, is to provide ample parking so that they could haul in, and they have great trailer parking. We might have stalls, overnight accommodations, abilities for them to be able to take a break, go shop, go eat, and their horses are taken care of. I mean, this has great possibilities, and it would be the most unique experience in virtually all the country.
And an
because of
experience that I
dynamic.
think we've heard people asking for, and many don't realize how often we have visitors from Europe that are here that really are seeking out a combination of that Route 66 and cowboy and Western experience, if you will. I've heard people say at the horse show recently they heard more languages being spoken than they did English. And I'm sure you have that same experience in the restaurant.
25% of our customers come from outside of Oklahoma City. 25% additional come from outside of Oklahoma. So we have 50% of our regular clientele is outside of Oklahoma City. So there's always people in there looking for something to do, and they're looking for that Western flavor and that experience. So I think this is a great addition.
And the combination of perhaps being able to ride as far as the Native American Cultural Museum back and forth, combine that with the water sports. That sounded like Brooklyn all of a sudden. water sports. And kayaking and I mean, I just think it lends a fantastic
great
idea.
possibilities.
So, in your biggest dreams, what are some of the things we haven't talked about yet?
Oh, I just think, I mean, this could be, and this is big picture thinking, this could be our Disney, okay? It could offer that unique...
But authentic.
Authentic. Authentic is all about,
Right.
I mean, that's what people seek. And this ability to be able to be around a horse that is such an emotional being that really connects with people, it gives a lot of touch points that people would not normally have. And, you know, I mean, again, this is still very conceptual in nature. However, we have had the opportunity to involve the Oklahoma River Redevelopment Authority,
right,
and they
which is
allowed
wonderful.
us to tap into Triad Design Group, and they're doing the initial engineering possibilities of maybe what the trails might be, maybe needed facilities, and then potentially potential locations. But it's
Great.
very infant. If anybody has any thoughts or whatever,
Who do they talk to? How do they
can
find
go
you?
at info@triaddesigngroup.com.
Okay.
Info@triaddesigngroup.com, and express their comments or thoughts. And
Great.
but again, we're dreaming, right, David?
We're excited. It's
We're
very
dreaming.
exciting.
Well, you know, we talk a lot about on these programs about public-private partnerships, and I just, you know, the pattern repeats itself. A lot of our greatest ideas come from our citizens and come from, you know, what we hear that people would find fulfilling. And as we kind of add to our quiver, not to keep the pun going, but as we add to that quiver of things that build on quality of life, each one of these pieces, standalone, you know, maybe doesn't work, but collectively, these are all things that cause Oklahoma and Oklahoma City to become, you know, a true destination and a world-class place. And I was glad you talked about some of these early meetings. I recall discussing a signature piece and whether it was from a branding standpoint or and the authenticity and you know, the importance of connecting with the truth about a place, not
Absolutely.
trying to create a place, but, you know, really look to what our past was, which we're on solid ground there, but also looking to the future. It's so exciting.
Well, that's the truth about any brand, is if you're authentic, then it's believable and people seek you out.
Exactly.
If you're trying to make up something, which we don't have to do in this case, we are going to, it'll be very ownable. And
Well, that's what it feels like. I mean, I've just the few people that I know that have heard a little bit about it are just so enthusiastic, and I think it's bringing a lot of energy. And again, you see these nice connections, you know, into the Maps 3 Central Park, our own
Absolutely.
version of Central Park, and how so many of these things, trails and sidewalks and the river, and all begin to work together and connect and talk about health and talk about being outdoors and some of the paradigm shifts that we're all working together on. So it's my great pleasure to have you both here today. I
Great to be
appreciate
here.
it
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
We're on for lamb fries really
Yes.
soon.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that. I also know very quickly Stockyards is up for 3 awards during
Yes.
the National Main Street Banquet,
Yes,
the
coming up in a
statewide
couple
banquet
weeks.
that's coming up in a couple of weeks.
Excellent.
I apologize, I won't be able to be there, but I'll be rooting for you behind the
Thank
scenes.
you.
So,
We
and
need all the help we can get.
Rhonda, thank you for all your volunteer
Oh, you
work. We
betcha.
appreciate everything you do, including
you.
your service on the Economic Development Trust. So,
you bet.
thanks
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.